Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Inner Conquest, the world's greatest modern metaphysics channel. I'm your host, Jacob Edens, and today we are going to be discussing the hidden meanings behind many of the books that are out there. Okay, so when you think of different literary books that have information in them, what is interesting about these books is that many of them are coded because as they go through history, they are meant to be received by individuals who can interpret them at the right time. So, for example, the most popular interpretation of scripture is through Neville Goddard and his mentor Abdullah, right? Because what they do is they essentially break down stories that have been taken literally and put them into states of consciousness where each character represents a state of your own consciousness, right? So this is what you would call a parable. You see this in Psalms, you see this in all these different aspects of reality where the symbolism is hidden in plain sight, right? So as you begin to become more aware of different aspects of reality, you'll understand how to interface with reality at a higher level. And what that does for you is it gives you more control over your own reality, right? So anytime you're going through an experience that is less than favorable, say it's, health, wealth, relationships, the top three, or anything along those lines that is, not that cool, understand that through grappling with these different aspects of your reality, you are able to not only overcome them, but summon more of your internal power, right? So as you summon more of your internal power, you realize that not only is all power and all causation localized within yourself, but that you are able to summon infinite amounts of solutions and power, right? So as you look at things like scripture, right, and you look at the concept of Christ, what does that mean, right? Well, it gets externalized in a localized environment, such as a church, right? So you say, hey, pray to this thing or believe in this thing, and this will give you power. The key with understanding any type of metaphysical context is understanding that true metaphysics is about empowering yourself. It is not about putting your power into something else that you cannot control. Because anytime something outside of you that you put your power into is put in a circuit breaker between you and someone else or something else, that thing is always going to become a tyrant because who you are is broken down into three aspects. It's power, wisdom, and love. So when you have something like fear, right, around if I don't do this, this will happen, you've put a limitation on yourself, which is unlimited, right? Because you are a thinker and a focuser, meaning that if you run into anything in your life, you can immediately think and focus as if it's already solved now. So by thinking that you need permission or thinking that something outside of you has power, then you effectively power that yourself and make that into a god. So if you look at the different stories from scripture, specifically the one where it's Egypt and Moses is leading the Israelites out of Egypt, right? The land of many gods. The many gods are the second causations. And many times, as we understand metaphysics, we understand the principles and we understand how to operate the law and we understand how to do it, but we still have a lot of beliefs in second causes. Second causes can be anything from a thought to an emotion to a process to something outside of you that is making it seem as if you need it to get what you want. But you are who you say you are. There is one God, and that God's name is I Am, meaning that power that creates everything you see around you flows through me and it flows through you, meaning that you, through the ability to think, focus, program your subconscious, manipulate your electromagnetic field to attract things to you, change your vibration, you are the power, the operant power in your reality. That's what it means to be an operant power in your reality. In the same way that if you and me were to play Minecraft right now, right? Imagine we're in Minecraft with Jack Black and Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, right? We're in Minecraft and you're a player in Minecraft. Does the environment around you dictate you, or do you dictate your environment? Now think about this. When you're in a game, does your consciousness come from the game, or is your consciousness in the game? Your consciousness is in the game, which means consciousness is the dictator of reality. That is a Darius J. Wright term, and he uses the word dictator purposefully, because being able to dictate reality means that you are above reality. Reality is adherent to your consciousness. That is what to be the Lord means. You dictate your reality, right? Now, if we're in Minecraft and you're in a game with other players, doesn't mean that you control the other players. Doesn't mean you're the god of the other players. Doesn't mean that you own any other players. Doesn't mean you get to have full free will over all the other players and do whatever you want to do to them, because they're the same as you. They're equal. But in the atmosphere of the game, you are dictating the game, meaning that when you manifest, you are bringing things out of you into the world, which makes you a creator. It makes you the source. It makes you the operant power. So everything in this channel is about one thing. It's about understanding the correlative link between your internal world and your external world. Once you understand that, then you can logically apply different strategies to start to become more aware of that correlation and how that works, right? But the ultimate goal is for you to, what they would say, wake up and go, I'm in control, right? And so as you gain more control and as you gain more mastery, the game gets more fun because you can manipulate it in the way that you want to with others for each other's benefits, right? But anything that tries to disempower you is the antithesis of who you are, meaning that if you're in fear, if you're in doubt, if you're in low self-esteem, if you're in any of these things, they feel bad because they're not your real self. Think about that. If you want to take a law of attraction, Abraham Hicks lexicon, and put it up in here, think about how good you have to be to feel bad, because you know it's not right. Anytime you have a circumstance that doesn't feel good or it's not quite working or whatever, the quickest way out of that is to disidentify with it, because when you disidentify with something, you create spacing, which creates an observer relationship, which allows you to manipulate it. So understanding that you are consciousness, which is a dictator, a commander, a non-negotiable master of reality in your true essence, means that everything that is around you that tells you you are not that is a lie. And the good news is that by being in this place, you gain strength, because the only way that you can really make an unlimited being feel limited is by tricking the ass. So everything that is making you feel not good is a trick. And the reason it's a trick is because in the same way that you inhabit your body, if you leave and die right now, how effective is your body? It fucking sucks, dude. It falls down and ants eat it. How many ants eat you right now? 0 ants are eating you. Why? Because you're the operant power, and they feel that energy and they go, there's life force, there's power, and there's kingship or queenship here, and we won't touch it until that vacates the premise. So everything that's messing with you is trying to get you to vacate your power. It's trying to get you out of the throne. It's trying to get you out of your seat, because once you get out of your seat, it can do what it wants, right? But any state, metaphysical state, is only operated in the same way that when you're in your body, it becomes animate. And the way that it becomes animate is through your awareness of it. So when you have problems, if you're aware of the problems, then you are identifying as an observer who has problems. But that reality can be flipped just as easily on the version of yourself that already has it solved. Because this place is a key down, to take Neville Goddard's words, version of reality, it means that it is a slower reverberation of what real reality is. So you have to understand faith and persistence, which is just loyalty to the unseen reality and sticking to an assumption. So as you stick to assumptions and as you have faith that you are who you want to be right now and things are the way you want them to be, the reality has to reflect that. And as you see reality respond and respect who you are being, you understand that you dictate reality, not the other way around, and you cannot be tricked anymore. So I know you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave comments of videos you'd like to see in the future. Additionally, the link tree has all the coaching stuff. The most important thing I have to say today is go conquer, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.